is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
And we're on. Okay. Welcome to this live watch along with me, only me, this time for this ATP 250 match in Geneva between Tien and Kei Nishikori. Pretty intriguing matchup, I have to admit. And, you know, obviously young up-and-coming talent against an experienced player like Kei Nishikori, a player that, you know, is finally playing somewhat regularly again on the tour, but has perhaps, you know, considering how good he has been, you know, particularly on clay as well in the past, you know, he's maybe, you know, struggled a little bit recently. He hasn't had too many wins this clay season, and he hasn't probably played as much as he'd like to. I mean, he's had a few more niggling injuries here and there. Whereas, yeah, on the other side of the net, yeah, Tien is another player. We know he's got a lot of talent. And yeah, just there on the screen, you can see this. It says this is the first time these two have played. Tien has got a lot of talent. He's not so experienced on clay, and is also, yeah, hasn't had too many wins on the surface. However, he's a talented player, showing how good he can be at the Australian Open this year. A smart player, and it's going to be an interesting battle. You'd have to give the edge slightly to Kei, given his experience on the surface and his quality, but this could be a good one. And perhaps if Lerner can sort of maybe, you know, draw out the rallies a bit, make it a little bit physical, perhaps that would favour Lerner a little bit. I mean, we obviously know that Kei, you know, he's had struggles with injuries, but, you know, he's also obviously getting older as well, so the physical battle is not what he wants to get into. And you know, we saw Lerner was able to last 5 sets and beat Medvedev at the Australian Open, so he can go long if he wants to. I just saw your comment earlier. Hi Dan, just seen you there saying hi Eddie. So yeah, Tien on clay isn't he's definitely more of a hardcore player. Nishikori, obviously he likes the clay. This particular event is at altitude. I don't know if that's going to have too much effect on the outcome. I mean, imagine that's okay for Nishikori. Already though, we've got Tien actually, Tien up. Love 30 on the Nishikori serve starting off. And that was a deep backhand there from Nishikori, which was placed well, and he had the opportunity for the drop shot there, but not well executed. And you've got 3 break points immediately for Tien. So the youngster, but looks like the scoreboard's slightly ahead of my stream here. Yeah, it's a difficult one to pick, I think, because obviously, I mean, in Nishikori, And perhaps like a few months ago, I would be thinking, yeah, Nishikori would probably win this pretty comfortably, but you know, he's obviously not quite the player that he was, and with Tien, obviously he's not done well on this surface, but you know, a young player that's got something to prove, and I suppose, you know, he's maybe a bit more motivated to do well here. But good learning for experience for him as well, to play against a player with the quality that Nishikori has. But yeah, Nishikori able to save those break points. You can see some of the scores there on the screen there. That's the French Open qualifying. Of course, it's just started today. Yeah, the first round. Yeah, we saw Coleman Wong lost to Bernard Tomic. Tomic winning on clay in straight sets. I mean, Wong himself is not particularly adept at the clay. I would have expected him maybe to get the win. He did get a couple wins in the Challenger recently. So, but Wong, yeah, just struggling. I think Tomic hitting a lot of, you know, Tomic's a tricky player and he's hitting a lot of slices, and I don't think that was to Coleman's liking. So Tomic, imagine Tomic qualified for his first slam in several years and it came at Roland Garros. I mean, no one would expect that, but who knows? Tennis is funny sometimes. Yeah. Nishikori moving Tien around there. You can tell like Tien he does look a bit more uncomfortable in terms of his movement and whatnot on the clay. Yeah, one of the other results, the match just before this was Jacob Fernley against Dusan Lajovic. Yeah, coming through 6-4, 6-1. It seems Fernley, yeah, talking tennis, asking Fernley on the clay. Who knew? Well, yeah, he seems to have adapted pretty well. He's had some pretty good wins, hasn't he? And the Masters as well. He got some good wins in Madrid as well. And I think he's got he's got a pretty good forehand, Fernley, with a lot of spin on it, which will obviously work well on this surface, but also he seems to be moving pretty well. And that's the important thing, is like, if you can move well on the clay, a lot of players, you know, if they're used to playing in hard courts, do struggle to make that transition. It seems to be a pretty good athlete as well, Fernley. So we're still on juice here, and goes out there from Tien. So advantage for Nishikori. Not too many fans in the stands at the moment for this first round clash in Geneva. Must be around 1:15 there in the afternoon. So Nishikori under some pressure, but eventually comes through. And I would have to say, after the first game, my impression is that just looking at how they look out there, it's not been long, but I think, I mean, I'm favouring Nishikori here. He's just got that much more experience on this surface, and yeah, he hasn't been had the best clay court season, but he'd be wanting to get some good matches, I think, under his belt before heading off to Paris. Another match that will be tomorrow, assuming all these matches are completed well, is Wu Yibing, who was the first Chinese player to win an ATP title. He's had a lot of struggles with injuries, but there's no doubting the quality that he has. He's coming back, and he will be playing Marin Cilic. Yeah, and if a couple of years ago you said, you know, they'd be playing in the first round of qualifying, well, that would have been quite surprising. But here we are, and yeah, that's certainly one to watch if you can, if you've got the stream, if you're able to get and watch those qualies. Yeah, and probably either one of those players, if they're actually able to get through, would fancy their chances of making the main draw. Just unfortunate for tennis fans that they have to face each other in that same section. That was, yeah, nice forehand there from Tien. Double fault there from Tien. So he don't creating some pressure on himself early on here, I think. But another young player that's, I mean, we know Tien, he's a talented young player from America. Another young player from America that's started his match in Roland Garros is Nishikori, who's playing Collarini in that first qualifying round match on court 14. Nishesh, the third seed in the qualifying, of course, just missing out on making the main draw. And yeah, just to illustrate sort of the lack of experience of Tien, is that apparently when he played in Munich earlier this clay season, that was the first time he'd been in Europe. So, yeah, first time traveling to Europe just this clay season. Yeah, it's probably not easy when you have to adapt to sort of different environment like that, as well as obviously the difference in surface. It takes some getting used to, but he's on the board here anyway, Lerner. 1 game all, and slowly filling up a little bit in Geneva. Nice little setting. Yeah, and John just putting in the comments there that Talking Tennis did a preview of qualifying. You can check that out on the YouTube channel. And that came out yesterday with Damien and Brenner. I'm sure a lot of good insights there into the qualifying. And it's always worth a watch. Some of the qualifying matches, because for those players, so much on the line. Some of them aiming to get into the main draw of a slam for the first time. So yeah, sometimes the matches are very competitive. We've got, yes, just to mention there, Fabio Fognini. He's playing the Roland Garros qualification as the number 7 seed. It's going to be his last tournament before he stops playing. He's a pretty long, pretty successful career, and especially on this surface, Fognini. And he'll be taking on the American Moreno de Alboran on court Suzanne Lenglen. Yeah, Fabio Fognini is also, a Masters winner, right? On clay, so and a former quarterfinalist at the French Open way back in 2011. Yeah, and of course, the winner in Monte Carlo back in 2019, his only Masters 1000 title, beating Dusan Lajovic, who lost in the first round here to Fearnley in Geneva. So a break point here for Tien. This is crucial moments here. And that was really nicely saved there by Nishikori. Definitely under a little bit of pressure. Tien did feel that opportunity there, and he was looking for it. Yeah, still slightly favoring K, but Tien, of course, yeah, he's a good returner himself, and he'll have opportunities there, and he's a smart player, but always learning. So just lacking experience on this surface. And that was a good return, So yeah, with Nishikori's serve, I mean, Tien is going to have those opportunities. I mean, he doesn't have much of a serve himself, Tien, so he'll probably be facing a few more break points himself, but I think he'll be good for Tien to be able to get up early here. He's going to have another chance at a second serve here. Let's go out wide, and Tien cannot get it in, so back to deuce. Some of the other matches going there. Filius Gaubis going down to a first set tiebreak to a Djokovic. And Gaubis himself breaking onto the ATP Tour recently with some big wins. A youngish Czech player, Siverchina, I think he's like 22 maybe. Getting through 6-2, 6-4 against Barrere. And early days for Bashev already. Boyer upper set and is actually about to serve for the match against Rincon. And another break point here for Tien. Break point number 3. Can he actually get it done this time in this game? He's standing way back for the return, but it goes into the net. So he'll come forward and look at another second serve from Nishikori. And we're in the rally. Well, that's a nice forehand, but Tien does enough to get it back, and then it forces the backhand long from Nishikori. So it is first break point to Lerner Tien, and perhaps the youngster on the way to, well, I wouldn't say a massive upset, but it'd be an important win, I think, from his perspective. Yeah, some of the other matches coming up there. You got Hami Munar against Halis, Arnaldi versus Gaston. That could be an interesting match there. And Cam Norrie against Dominic Stricker. Or Stricker playing in his home country. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Stricker has had some struggles, and he's not always been playing regularly. I don't know, some just injuries, but some other issues as well, I think. So, yeah, certainly he'll be hoping to get some good results under his belt, but not easy against Cam, who, of course, does pretty well on the clay and is not going to give away, many easy points. So we're up early anyway. Lerner Tien is 2-1. Yeah, Seb Offner coming through 6-1, 6-2. That's a really one-sided result there in the first round here in Geneva. Another Japanese player getting started in Roland Garros, Taro Daniel, against the local player Jacquet. Constant Lestienne as well started against Buruchaga. Yeah, quite a few Japanese players in the men's qualifying draw, because you've also got James Trotter and then Shintaro Mochizuki. Also on the women's side, Nao Hibino came through her first round match. Straight sets against Lazaro Garcia. Sayaka Ishii is currently playing, but she's down a set. And she looks like she's about to lose this match against Udvardi. But Haruka Kaji and Ayo Ito, who's just nearly broken into the top 100, she'll be playing later against Marchenko. And then Ena Shibahara will play Jenny Lim of France. Shibahara also up to a new career high ranking recently, around 120 in the world. She's only qualified for one slam main draw. That was at the US Open last year. Having previously just been a double specialist since last season, she decided to concentrate in singles and has been doing pretty well, especially for Japan in the the Billie Jean King Cup. She's had some really good performances there, and here and there on, making her way on the WTA tour. It would be quite something if she was able to qualify for Roland Garros. And then we just got information there that Nicholas Jarry, has lost to Alexei Poprin. And that was yesterday. Poprin, the 5th seed. Yeah, Jarry and Asparo is, I mean, it was this time last year in the clay season, I think he got to the final in the Masters and lost to, was it Zverev, wasn't it? Zverev put in that ridiculous serving performance, but yeah, a lot has changed since then. But Tien manages to hold here and is up 3-1 against Kei Nishikori. You know, and he's not the biggest player, Leonard Tien, of course, but his, you know, he hits the ball very well. He hits a clean ball. He's got good technique and likes to work the ball around the court and wait for his opportunities. Yeah, I was wondering about that myself. John's just mentioning there that Alex Ayala seems not to be playing a tournament this week. Yeah, she played. Yeah, she went out early in Rome, and I mean, she did play those doubles matches with Coco Gauff. Yeah, I think she got to quarterfinals, wasn't it? But then, yeah, you would have thought maybe, you know, on this surface, maybe she'd play a tournament in the week before Roland Garros, because, you know, she probably do with getting more experience on the surface. But I guess opting just to go straight to Paris, and this is the first slam that she'd qualified, Alex Ayala. So maybe just want to make sure she's fresh for that and make the most of that opportunity. Of course, it's could, you know, potentially a great opportunity for her if she gets a good draw. You know, she perhaps get her first slam main draw win. Yeah, I mean, clearly she's not quite as adept on the clay, but still opportunities there, depending on the draw. And then, yeah, and then just I guess not too much pressure on her there, and then obviously goes into the grass season where perhaps she can get a few more results there. It probably suits her game a little bit better. So it'll be interesting to see if she's able to make that transition well. But Nishikori at 30 all, down a break here. And that was a decent enough first serve that allows him to play the 1-2. Oh, the best ATP player without a slam, active player. That is a good question. Zverev, I mean, I think Zverev is a pretty obvious choice, I think, on the men's side. Just, I mean, he's perhaps been a bit unlucky in some situations, but obviously been in a slam final. Kei Nishikori does hold on. Yeah. Zverev, I mean, Tsitsipas as well. I mean, unlucky perhaps to come up against some tough opponents in his finals, but I mean, I definitely. Millhouse is asking, is it insane to say Rune? I think Rune is a player that should be. I would have expected to have a better career so far at this moment in time. I think, yeah, he's just not really lived up to expectations. I mean, you can see that he does have a lot of talent, and you know, there's not much that he can't do. It's just putting it all together. Still a long way to go in his career, though. So perhaps he can get it together and maybe be more competitive and have a chance in some of these slams. But if he'd yeah, I think Rune's. I mean, he's been in the quarters, but yeah. And also, like, I mean, how? Yeah, he's still 22. Just not long term 22, but also that was a good title win for him. Obviously in Barcelona, but let's see if he's actually able to bring that kind of form now. This is a surface that he can do well, obviously, and it'll be interesting to see if he can show it now in Roland Garros. I mean, twice a quarterfinalist in Paris, so who knows? You're talking about semi-finals. Maybe this is the year that he actually does it. Wow, that was a very deep backhand from Nishikori up the line, just landing right on the line. And that was a thing of beauty, that backhand. Then it's Tien this time. His forehand landing pretty deep and drawing the error on the Nishikori backhand this time. That Nishikori backhand though can be so good. I had the pleasure to see up close at the start of this year in Hong Kong. Still a world-class shot at times. Nice. We're back at 30 all. I think that was some pretty smart play there from Nishikori with the way he scooped up that ball. And perhaps a little opportunity here for him to break back. Let's see what Tien can do here. Yeah. So Nishikori will get a look at a second serve. But Yeah, that forehand. Yeah, when he gets in his stride, Tien has a bit of a weapon there with that forehand, and that's a good hold. Ace getting it done for Tien to bring it 4-2. Taro Daniels now down 4-1 against Jackie early on in that first set. Bashavaredi and Collarini still on serve. 4-3 to Bashavaredi. Sayaka Ishii is now out of losing to Udvardi. Udvardi gets the win 6-2, 6-1. And it looks like Seidel's about to Ella Seidel's about to beat Stephanie Vogela. So I remember when Nishikori was in, he's already had a good career, Nishikori. But you would have to say that at his advanced age now and his situation, it seems unlikely, let's say, that he's going to be able to match those previous heights. Of course, he was as high as number 4 in the world, and he came so close to winning a Masters title once, but then he lost out and had to retire against Rafa Nadal in Madrid, and then obviously a runner-up in US Open, etc. But for as being a world-class player, but I remember him saying what keeps him going at this stage of his career, and then one of the things was that he wants to be able to play against some of the newer players. Obviously in the last 5 years or so, the level of hitting, the power that the men are getting on the ball these days has stepped up a level. And so for him, our motivation was actually be able to play some of these top players like Sinner and Alcaraz, etc. And he's playing another new kid on the block here in Tien. But yeah, I remember Nishikori said that he had a practice, I think, with Sinner, and he felt that was very helpful for him and sort of to understand, because he'd had his large periods away from the tour injured. So being able to practice with Sinner sort of helped him feel sort of the level that he needs to get to, and obviously Sinner just he hits the ball ridiculously well. So yeah, I mean, obviously Nishikori achieved so much, but he still wanted to learn and adapt and improve and just be able to keep competing and see how well he can do in this new era. And I have to say, it looks like if Tien can hold here, then it looks like he might take the set here. Yeah, the lefty serve out wide there, difficult for Nishikori to return there on the ad side. Yeah, the powerful forehand there from Tien doing the damage. Yeah, just up in the pace there. Nishikori was in place and slid into the backhand, but then it ultimately went into the net. So Tien just one game away from taking this first set. And that's, that's going to feel pretty good for him if he's able to do that. I mean, in this clay season so far, Lerner played in Houston. He lost to Mickelson. He managed to qualify for the event. He came to qualies in Munich, but then lost his first round match to Griekspoor. Lost his first round match in Madrid to Marcos Giron. Lost the first round match in Estoril, the 3 sets to Elias. Did get a win at the Italian Open in Rome, coming through in straight sets against Riley Opelka, but then lost out to Tomasz Makac in the second round, which is, no shame in that, obviously, with Makac being the top player that he is. But so the wins have been few and far between this clay season for Lerner. But perhaps he's on his way to just his second main draw win of the clay season. But we'll see if Nishikori is able to hold on here. Let's see if we can create a little bit of pressure for Tien. Obviously, got great experience. Yeah, remember to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want as well. If you're watching on Talking Tennis, and you might even be watching on Tennis Asia TV, you can hit like and subscribe. We'll hopefully be doing more of these soon. Obviously, with Roland Garros coming up, plenty of opportunity to do that. Hello there. And that just backhand was just dropping onto the baseline there. So Nishikori does hold on, and he'll at least force Tien to serve out this first set. Hi there, sport and politics. Welcome. Good question. Which Asian player on the WTA side do you think will go furthest? Naomi? I don't think it's going to be Naomi. I would be surprised if that's the case. Realistically, I mean, and she's made good improvements. It's clear on the clay, and obviously winning that 125 title was nice, and it was good for her to be able to step down and do that. I mean, I respect her doing that, and obviously getting to the round of 16 in Rome, great for her. But going the furthest in at Roland Garros, realistically, you would have to say it probably should be Zhang Qinwen, right? So, the Chinese number one, she was sort of been struggling at the start of the sort of clay season, I would say, with the results, but and her performances. But she reached the semis in Rome, getting the first win over Sabalenka finally, and somewhat decent performance against Coco Gauff. So I think Zhang probably she might even prefer clay, or can play better on clay than she does in hard courts, and obviously a gold medal winner at the Paris Olympics, so she's got good record on that surface, and just has perhaps maybe not shown her best at the actual Roland Garros event. But I remember that first I think it was the first match she ever played against Iga Swiatek. I mean, she ended up losing the match in 3, but the first set she played insanely well and took that, and I think it was a tie break. And that was a sort of introduction to Zhang for many tennis fans. But that was, obviously as well with Iga, she was playing at such a high level then. Iga's, it's got to be said, she's struggling a bit at the moment. So, yeah, if Zhang, because she can bring a good level, she should be doing well and going far. Of course, she going in as the 8th seed. But Naomi as well. I mean, perhaps she can surprise people with a little bit of a run. And that was a double fault there from Tien, so I don't know if he's feeling the pressure a little bit, but that's 30 all. And perhaps Nishikori a chance for him to bounce back here with Tien. Tien is not exactly the biggest server, but he does have the advantage of being a lefty. It's a really nice return on the second serve from Tien. From Nishikori on the Tien serve. Just dipping, going inside out, dipping onto the line. But that return with the lefty serve, yeah. So that's the advantage of being a lefty. If you're on the ad side, getting that lefty serve out wide, you can get a good angle. And that's good confident hitting from Tien to give him the first set point. Second serve for Tien. Set point. Goes out wide. Extended exchange here. Who's going to come out on top? Tien forehand. Nishikori backhand. Oh, that's beautifully finished off there by Tien with the backhand up the line. Nicely placed, and after that extended rally, that was a lovely point to finish. And Tien takes that first set 6-4, you have to say. I mean, he deserved it, and under a little bit of pressure, perhaps early on, but I mean, he's been creating the pressure more, to be honest, in the Nishikori service games overall, and you can see there, I mean, same number of winners, but far fewer unforced errors from Leonard Tien. 13 from Tien, unforced, but 19 from Nishikori. And it's been pretty close, but yeah, that's where some of the difference in the match has come from. And yeah, and you can see there in the Nishikori second serve, he's only winning 41% of the points there. 56% of the second serve points won by Tien. So Nishikori being punished when he's on the second serve. And yeah, at this moment in time, yeah, Nishikori, he's going to have to step up. It hasn't looked particularly good at the moment. But, you know, we've got to give some credit to Lerner. I mean, obviously has a talent, but wasn't experienced on clay. And perhaps, you know, this is a really valuable learning experience for him. And who knows, maybe he can go on and to Roland Garros and get a first round win. We've got some of those qualifying matches going on. Taro Daniel is down a set 6-1. He lost to Jacquet, so not doing well there, but he's on serve early in the second set. Vilius Gaubus he was down a set, but he's coming back up a break in that second set at 4-3. It looks like he's about to make it 5-3. So perhaps that will be going to a final set. And then another match has started there in Kumayun Sultanov of Uzbekistan playing against Albert Ramos Vinolas. Yes, Ramos Vinolas having to qualify here, but he's up breaks early on. Jason Kubler started against Morokanis, and on the women's side, Masarova looks like she's about to get through against Lena Glushko. Yana Fett up an early break against Priscilla Hon. And Nina Stojanovic up a set on Jimenez Katin-Seva. So that's a good start for her. Another Japanese player, Haruka Kaji, started against Marjo Rouvroy. A little expression there of frustration there from Nishikori. I mean, the ball sort of landing deep there, and I guess it was maybe a dodgy bounce there for Nishikori. Tien apologizing, but it's an early chance to break again for Tien. And, you know, that forehand there going into the high part of the net from Nishikori hit there with a bit of frustration. I think he knows he's not, you know, he's struggling here, and he's 3 break points here for Tien early in the second set. So this perhaps good opportunity Oh, the net cord there, I think, just helping Nishikori. So he's hanging on at the moment in this set. Sorry, in this game, I should say. And 1540. Oh, Nishikori went out wide, but there was Tien ready to take it, and it's that backhand up the line again. They're this time getting the winner on return. Early break for Leonard Tien, and you have to say, the Japanese former world number 4 in trouble here with. And yeah, so Lerner still only 19 years of age. And this would be just his second main draw win during the clay season, but also at the second successive tournament for him. So yeah, and he'll be feeling obviously good to get it done against Nishikori. But let's see if Nishikori can respond here. Yeah, Nishikori having to be aggressive there on the Tien serve and coming forward and trying to be aggressive. So a little opportunity here. Love 30 on the Tien serve. And can Nishikori immediately break back? I mean, he'd certainly need. That was a double fault there again. And there's been quite a few double faults from Tien. And it looks like Nishikori has taken that break back. The score is a little bit further ahead than my stream, so apologies if I'm a bit behind the action here. But Tien serving at 1540, and that's a good serve. But then a good return from Nishikori, and it draws the error from Tien, so we're back on serve. So 1-0, and that was a good response from Nishikori. Yeah, and that's it. That is a good response because obviously he looks like very frustrated at this, with the way that second set started, but kept his focus and got back into it here. Tien perhaps helping him out a little bit with that double fault. But the thing is Nishikori's got to be trying to get, I guess, more of these first serves in, because that's where he's been struggling, and Tien's been able to create a lot of break points, and when Nishikori's pushed onto the second serve. But that helps, to bring that to 30 love. That was a good first serve there from Nishikori. It was an ace. And the first ace of the match, yeah, for Kay. Yeah, Sports and Politics asking, turning point, can Kay slog it out for 3 hours across 3 sets? I mean, yeah, ideally he won't want to do that, and I think that's from the perspective of Tien. He'd probably be more than happy to do that, I think. Yeah, but it's it's probably not going to be easy for Nishikori to, even assuming he wins this set, to get this done quickly. So yeah, perhaps that would favor Tien a bit. So Bashevaris ready going down 7-5 to Collarini in that first set. Vilius Galbus will serve for that second set. And that's another good hold there for Nishikori. So got to be pleased about that. And let's see if he can actually now get into the Tien service game. Taro Daniel now up a break, though, in the second set against Jacques in the Roland Garros qualifying. Another match going on in Geneva is Jaume Munar, who's up 3-2 against Quentin Alice, but Quentin Alice has 2 break points, so perhaps getting back in there. And of course, we've also got play continuing in Hamburg. Yeah, ATP tournament in Hamburg, ATP 500. Rublev is playing at Damir Jumar and still on serve 3-all, 30-all in that first set. Marcos Giron and Roberto Bautista Agut are currently in a tiebreak in that first set. A tight one there. Nakashima already through after his opponent, Rafael Collignon, retires with the score at 6-5 to Nakashima. Alex Zverev chosen to play that tournament, of course, in Germany, which is, you know, his home country. So he's the number 1 seed there, and he'll be playing against Alexander Kovacevic later on. Yeah, thinking back, you know, asking whether Kay can slog it out for 3 hours. I mean, he did really well against in that first set and managed to win the first set against Tommy Paul in the Australian Open. I remember covering that, and you know, Kay was doing the right things, but Paul, being the high-level athlete that he is, he made it very difficult for Kay to actually break through him, and yeah, it was physically tough, and then eventually Paul just, you know, broke him down. And now it's, of course, Tien, different kind of player, but he's going to be able to perhaps push Nishikori physically. On the men's side, which Asian man has the best chance of going furthest? It's a good question. I mean, I think this is also going to be highly draw dependent. Yeah, but I mean, we just had a Challenger 175 final between Bublik and Boo Yinchuokete. Boo coming through on top. So yeah, obviously they're both representing Kazakhstan and China. Boo, though, again, also a player that I wouldn't say is particularly strong on clay. And yeah, neither is Bublik particularly, but he did exceptionally well in that tournament. Yeah, and in terms of Asian players on the men's side, though, there's not much in terms of hope. I would say probably possibly normally Zhang Zhizhen, but yeah, unfortunately he is injured now. I don't know if Jerry Shang is going to be. I think he might have. Yeah, so Jerry Shang hasn't been playing recently because he's been injured as well. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, for Zhang, I think normally he would have be one that would have a good opportunity to go through. He likes clay, and he has he's had a big wins. You know, he's beaten top 10 players in slams, and he has the game to do it. So unfortunately, Triple Z is not going to be playing. A player that maybe is under the radar a little bit is Sheng, who is from Taiwan. Jason Sheng or Sheng. Yeah, he's particularly adept on clay, but perhaps if he gets like a little luck in the draw, he might be able to go far. Definitely very good in clay. Quite underpowered though. Who knows? Perhaps a fit. An overperforming Nishikori might have a little run. But on this evidence so far this season, it doesn't look like it. Of course, we could have a few more Asian men getting into the main draw via the qualification, which is ongoing now. Talked about Taro Daniel, who is a player who's had some good results on clay in the past, and I think Sumit Nagal of India, also another player that likes the clay. He's perhaps going to qualify. We'll see how that goes. Still ongoing. And yeah, Sumit Nagal, I guess, will be playing tomorrow. He'll playing opening against Mitchell Kruger of the US. And of course, another top player that's going to be in the qualification is Wu Yibing, but he has to play Marin Cilic. And I suppose you might give Marin the edge in that one. But either of those players, if they manage to qualify, if they manage to win those matches, you fancy their chances to qualify. But yeah, Wu, as much as the quality he has, going in a run at Roland Garros, he certainly has the ability, but he's not so favoured on this particular surface. So it'd be good if he's actually able to just be fit. That's the main thing at the moment for him. But here we have Lerner and Kay still on serve. Yeah, it's a shame for the Chinese players because you obviously mentioned Jerry Shang there. He did withdraw from Roland Garros, and Zhang Zhizhen as well, not being able to play, and Wu just coming back but having to come through qualies. These are all guys that should be doing, they should be solid ATP 2 players, and unfortunately they're not competing at the moment. So yeah, disappointing because you would say, this is clearly golden period for, in terms of talent, for the Chinese men anyway. So the Nishikori taking the ball early there, and it is able to draw the error from Tien. And I think a little opportunity perhaps opening up here. Oh, that was a good, solid serve though for Tien. Nishikori going for the chip return, but just isn't able to get it over the net. That time Tien was going for the drop shot, but Nishikori, quick off the mark, is able to get there. Yeah. And eventually he finishes off with the volley, Nishikori. So he keeps the pressure on, at least on the Tien serve, and he's going to have to obviously win this set if he's going to break back, and if he's going to come back in this match. But that was a decent return from Nishikori, and he's got a chance here, another break point. And he's going to get another second serve to look at. Can Nishikori take this break point? So on the ad side, though, will Tien go out wide? Yeah, of course he's going to go that side, but oh, Tien just doing enough, I think. And yeah, Nishikori couldn't control it, and it hit the net cord and dropped out. So back on deuce. Oh. Yeah, must have been on the line, that serve. I don't know. But first serve there from Tien, so he does survive, and he'll have another game point. And that's a great first serve. Down the middle, an ace from Tien. Brilliant connection, well timed. And yeah, his fourth ace of the match as we're halfway through this second set. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the stream. Confirmation there from John that Gaubas, Vilius Gaubas, the hope of Lithuanian tennis, has taken that second set. And we're in a final third set. Can the youngster come back and make it through? Nicely placed backhand there from Nishikori. So 30-11. Oh, damn. If all your hope is on Gaubas, you're in trouble. Well, in the past, the main man in Lithuanian tennis was Ricardas Berankis. I mean, obviously he's still going, but Richardus Berankis. So yeah, like the hopes are that maybe Gaubus can go a little bit further than Berankis did in his career. But still on serve in the second set, 4-3 K. He closes his eyes there in the break. Nishikori's highest ranking was 4 in the world during the whole, Big Four era and all that. Yeah, and Kay at his best was he's competing with those players. At his best off the ground, just such a good he's just hit such a good ball, and he was a good athlete. Just obviously a bit weaker on serve, and yeah, I think it was 2016. Was it 2015 that I think Nishikori got to number 4 in the world. Yeah, the backhand, I mean, I mentioned that before, it's still at times, it's a world-class shot. So starting off, Blood 15 on the Tien serve here. Of course, if Nishikori is able to break, he'll serve for the second set. But that's another decent first serve there from Tien, and he's sort of been able to find these when he sort of needed them. Yeah, frustrating there. Yeah, John with a stat there. 1 from 7 on break points, but and there's that backhand being put to good use that we were talking about. Taken quickly cross court, rushing Tien a bit, and then we've got 15-30. Very important point here, of course, if Nishikori wins this. 2 break points. But again, Tien finding that first serve. This time going down the tee, and it was almost an ace. I mean, Nishikori barely got the racket on it, but just as a little opportunity might be opening up for Nishikori, then Tien gets that first serve and just finding that, timing it really well. I heard a little "come on, let's go" from Tien. He has, he's normally very quiet, but I think he knows how important this little moment in the match was, and obviously being able to hold here, prevents Nishikori from serving for the second set. So it's a good hold, serve out wide from Tien, and then finished easily at the net. Do you have? Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't wear, I guess, the bright yellow. Probably not, Dave. I do have a sort of a green t-shirt, but I don't think it's quite that bright. Yeah, it's more of a dull green. Yeah, moved up in the subscriber count on Talking Tennis and Tennis Asia TV. Yeah, the yellow effect for sure. Yeah, I mean, Tien really is very good off both wings in terms of, as much as he doesn't say have the natural power. He's got to say, he hits it very cleanly off both sides. Yana Fett up 6-2 on Priscilla Hon. Him and his cat and saber trying to fight back to push this to a final set there. Ruzic also up 6-1. Key moments here now. So Nishikori 30 all. That was a good return to start off there from Tien. And he upped the aggression there, the intensity there, Tien, and he does bring it up. Another break point on the Nishikori serve, 30-40. Nishikori under pressure, and now a chance after looking like he might break Tien and take that second set, or at least have the chance to serve the second set. Now it's Tien that's going to have the opportunity, perhaps. So let's see. Oh, and it's going to be a second serve for Nishikori. So he has struggled on that second serve with Tien's taking advantage. So, Tien goes for it though. He's eagerly, and unfortunately for him, he pushes it wide. So yeah, Dave's right in terms of like Yala, Fonseca, and Queen Wen. She definitely, they have some of the most enthusiastic supporters out there. Wow, that was, and numerous, of course. I mean, but I mean, Iala and Fonseca. I mean, sure, they're both countries with sort of quite big populations, and then also maybe being starved of a tennis player for a while. So they've got someone to cheer for now, and they're all over the place. And I do wonder, can we see Fonseca do something at Roland Garros? It's perhaps been a slightly bit disappointing this clay season so far. Yeah, Tien looks okay. Yeah. So an intriguing little match here. It's hard to pick which way it's going to go right now. Yeah, good hold there from Nishikori. Yeah, unless Zhao gets a bad draw, I expect him to get through at least 3 rounds, says Super Dave. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously he has the talent to beat a lot of good players on his day, so... But yeah. There's obviously a chance that he might draw Alcaraz in the first round. My goodness, that would be something. And it's starting to fill up a little bit now in Geneva. Munar up a set against Ali, so you can see that on the screen there. Yeah, so what's going on elsewhere? So in Hamburg, though, Rublev is up a set on Zoomer, so yeah, he takes that 6-4. Bautista Agut up 7-6-3. Love against Marcos Giron, so good for the veteran there. Yeah, Zverev still to play later. Looks like Taro Daniel is about to go out of Roland Garros qualies at the first hurdle, with Jacquet about to serve for the second set and the match, and then Bazivaredi still hanging on there in the second set on serve. Nishikori going back in behind there with the backhand, so he gets the first point in here, and another chance perhaps to build a little bit of pressure on Tien. Really nicely worked there from Nishikori. But let's see if he can take out his opportunity this time, of course. Last time on Tien serve, it looked like it might break, but it didn't happen. Yeah, Draper is due another slam run, you would say, but maybe on clay it could be an issue if it does get drawn out, but Draper has a chance. But I think Draper, it's going to be interesting really to see how Draper does at Wimbledon, I think. And Dave's commenting on the forehand from Nishikori, and that is... Yeah, he's up in the pace there. He's got to take his opportunity. So again, 15-40 on Tien's serve, but can Nishikori take this? And he does it. Ball deep there from Nishikori on the line that draws the error from Tien, and there we go. Fantastic. Of course, it was Nishikori that went down a break very early on in this set, and he did very well to bounce back, and he was very frustrated at the start of the second set, and coming through 6-4. I thought he's done really well to dig in. Yeah, the stats there are doing much better this time. Fewer unforced errors from Nishikori. 10 winners to 6 unforced errors, a good ratio there. Not bad from Tien. 11 winners to 11 unforced errors, but it's definitely a more competitive set, I think, there from Nishikori. And yeah, interesting to see how this goes now. Perhaps the experience can take Nishikori through, but if it becomes a bit more physical, perhaps that favors Tien. Let's see how it happens. Rublev looks like he's going to cruise to a straight sets victory over Jumer in Hamburg. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick break. If you just
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one, so I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface, but I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some, like, defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
we're back, and then already a little bit of pressure on the Nishikori serve to start off this third and final set. Love 30. Oh, that was a Tremendous forehand there, deep onto the line from Tien. Taking his opportunity there now, brings up 3 break points. Well, I was thinking Kei would be the favorite, but this would be maybe change that if Tien can actually hold on here. But of course, he broke early in the second set and then ended up losing. Nishikori bouncing back, so that return goes long and one of the break points gone. So perhaps Nishikori will. Well, actually, 2 of them gone there. So now he will perhaps hold on. Yeah, Tien really trying to finish it off with a big return. But it goes into the net, so perhaps he'll get a chance though here. On McKay's second serve. Was a good return. Yeah, Tien with the error again, going big on that forehand, unfortunately sending it wide and long. So, yeah. Yeah, too aggressive with the inside out forehand and there's Tien just going to go big, big, big on this second serve return. That was well dealt with, I think, by Nishikori. Oh. Nishikori's little lob there goes in, lands inside the baseline. So good hold there for Nishikori, but it'll be disappointing for Tien, and perhaps that could be significant. Tien did pretty well there, but Nishikori, good reactions, read it well, and a little thumbs up there from Tien acknowledging the quality. Nishikori wasn't sure if he's going to win that point. Yeah, finally a good return there from on that first serve of Tien. Nishikori sending it deep, and let's see if Nishikori is able to turn the screw here. Of course, he got great experience. Yeah. And he's got love 30 on the Tien serve, so perhaps now this is it. It's like how quickly it can change in tennis. Obviously, with Tien looking like he was going to get the break, and then Nishikori. Now he's creating pressure, but still Still time to go, of course. Oh, that was a good serve out wide there from Tien, and well, it was decent pace on it for our second serve. Nishikori looking very frustrated there with that serve. Sorry, return going long. Taro Daniel is out of Roland Garros qualies, going down 6-1, 6-4 to Jacquet. Vilius Galbus, though, looks like he is going to get the win up a break at 4-3 in that final set. And it's a hold from Tien after being down love 30. He wins all the points thereafter. Yeah, the lefty kicker, especially on the ad side, is up as well. I think it's quite frustrating for Kay. But a frustrated Kay can be a dangerous Kay. And yeah, you can how much power he was putting into that one. There's that Kay backhand now. Beautiful winner up the line. Take that. Oh, and a nice serve there out wide from Nishikori. So perhaps a much simpler hold this time for him. You do wonder though as well, like it's with the experience and obviously the quality that Kei Nishikori has, that that experience will just help him here in terms of sort of knowing what to do at these key moments and play the match moments well. I mean, Tien's had a few opportunities that perhaps that he'll regret not taking. Hello, Jake. Welcome to the stream. It's been a while since I've been on here. Good to see you again. Who else is on? Yeah, Ramos Vignolas came through in convincing fashion, 6-1, 6-1 against Sultanov. And Budvilas, another Lithuanian player in the qualies draw. He's down a break against Maximilian Martyrer. that was just quality, really. When sliding out that forehand corner, then just being able to react like that. Again, the lefty serve out wide on that juice court is effective for Tien, getting him out of trouble. Another good first serve that Nishikori cannot return. So, I would not be surprised if this goes to a tiebreak, but we'll have to see. Well, Tien going for the drop shot there did look. I mean, Nishikori did get up to it, but is unable to get it over the net. So, in the end, Tien's drop shot decision working out for him. But wow, that was another forehand hit with some venom. Nishikori, so nice when he connects with it like that. Yeah, another finishing off another forehand there on the line up the line. This one's shorter, but yeah, I mean, Nishikori does look very determined right now. I don't think he's not going to give this one up easily. Forehand error finally from Kei though. Well, so Nishikori hangs on. Yeah, not sure if that was out, Dave, but like certainly very deep, wasn't it? But and 3-2, so time for Nishikori to take a bite of the banana. And yeah, been an intriguing little match, this one. Yeah, both have. I mean, I think in the first set, yeah, Tien was definitely playing better, but I think after that, it's been a quite a high quality match. And yeah, definitely Nishikori has grown into the match. Yeah, nice matchup, this one, actually. So what's going on elsewhere? Galbus 1 game away from making it through. Yeah, that's right. And I think it's Dave, it's Carousel's first ATP main draw match. Wow. That short forehand there from Tien. Yeah, Tien though as well. I mean, obviously there's been times when you think he's maybe missed some opportunities, but you know, there's been moments when he's also been under pressure, but he's just quickly bounced back, and it's been an interesting match. Oh. But Tien does hold on, and yeah, it's still difficult to pick who's going to win this match now. Yeah, and if Nishikori obviously can get to 4-3 here, You just know he's going to try and really pressure the Tien serve because then he can serve for the match. And yeah, perhaps Tien struggling now a little bit physically. If we were wondering whether Tien might be one to push Nishikori physically. And the winner of this match will go on to play Khashanov, the 4th seed, in the second round. Seb Offner and Nuno Borges are already through the second round, and they will play each other, with the winner of that to go through to play the winner of Khashanov's match. And again, Nishikori coming through, and that could be key. Jacob Fernley also threw straight sets after Popperin came through Nicholas Jarry, so they will play Popperin and Fernley in the second round. Interesting. So Fernley perhaps doing better on clay than people expected. And then we've also got Cam Norrie playing on later, as well as before that Analdi and Hugo Gaston, followed by Marton Fušović against Zizou Bergs. When is Djokovic playing? I'm not entirely sure when, but he will playing the winner of Fušović and Bergs, but that obviously is being played today. So I guess Djokovic either tomorrow or Wednesday. But I don't know if this schedule's not decided yet. I haven't heard anything about that. Let's see if Nishikori. That was a nice backhand down the line there from Tien. I just seen that Bassett already took the second set against Collarini. So still a chance for the young American to get through. And the young Lithuanian, Vilius Gaubas, 20 years of age, comes through 6-7, 6-4, 6-4 against the Djokovic. So still hopes of a Lithuanian making the main draw in Roland Garros. Are you asking me if I would put Djokovic in the top 10 as things stand? Yeah, I think I'd put him within there, but maybe in the lower half at the moment. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, yeah, possibly below Ruud and Massetti, to be honest, but maybe ninth. Not sure if it's yeah, it's hard to say, but on clay, it's more difficult for him as well. So yeah, so we've got this on serve, and it doesn't really seem like either player is going to give in easily. So we might get a tie break here. Another good hold. And a simple one for Nishikori breaks. Sorry, holds to love, and I think perhaps though maybe Nishikori's experience is going to see him through this one. Yeah, I also wonder if Novak really, how much motivation he has to go the distance in this tournament. But yeah, it's a nice little setting, the Geneva Stadium. So let's see, because there hasn't been too many opportunities, and Tien has done pretty well in his service games, so let's see though if perhaps Nishikori can create a little break here, a little opportunity. And that one going long there from Tien. And this is where I wonder if Tien might get a little bit carried away, and Nishikori, with his experience, knows how to play these moments well. Yeah, it seems like for Djokovic, there's a lot of potential banana skins early on for him. So maybe if he gets through the first few rounds, then he can build up a little bit of momentum. But oh, yeah, Nishikori looking to be aggressive when he can. That was a great return, though, on the second serve from Tien. Can Nishikori hold on? And yes, he does. He comes into the net and finishes off with the volley winner, and that's excellent. So 2 set points here for Nishikori. And that it's going to be another deciding set comeback win for Nishikori. Yeah, Nishikori is really just an all-round good player. And and it was a lovely the slice backhand, and it was just enough to draw the air from Tien. He just didn't have the touch for it, and that is a good win for Kei Nishikori. I think, yeah, just his little bit of quality, a little bit of, being able to make the right plays at the right time, got through Nishikori this match, and honestly, nice little win for him. Yeah, from Tien up a set in a break early on in that second set. Yeah, it looked like Nishikori was quite frustrated, but then he fought back, Nishikori, and yeah, really good focus, really good. He found his level in the match and upped the aggression, and honestly, some of the hitting on both sides from the backhand, but also the forehand as well, really nice, and coming into the net as well and showing some nice touches. So he fights on, and that means that Nishikori will go through and play Karen Khachanov in the second round. He beat Khachanov, I think, in Hong Kong this year, which was a really nice victory for him on the ATP 250. So another rematch of that, and let's see if Nishikori can get the win. He obviously likes the clay. He'll be hopefully, hoping for something a little bit more straightforward this time, but it might not be easy. Overall, 33 winners to the 39 unforced errors for Nishikori, but 26 to 35 for Tien. So, yeah, a little bit better there for Nishikori, I think, in the ratio. And overall, he wins 103 points to 91. And I think that sort of reflects the match. Yeah, Nishikori did end up playing much more impressive tennis in the end. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you haven't already on Talking Tennis and on Tennis Asia TV. And yeah, John and everyone are going to have the French Open draw live on Thursday. So we'll all be looking forward to that. Hope you tune in and have a good one. Cheers.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.